Which camera should I look directly into?
Don't
Should I
tell him
just
the right one.
constantly
Don't
just
tell him
be
the
look-
right one.
I'm just going to look straight into that the entire time.
There we go. Yeah.
So I would say one thing that I was thinking of this morning is that I was reading this old book by Marshall McLuhan, which is his first major book, called The Mechanical Bride. And it's almost a series of blog posts that are analyzing the modern world. He's saying that, or what's his words here, it's not the classroom nor the classics, which are the repositories of models of eloquence, but the ad agencies.
Don Draper.
So, right.
Exactly.
So and he's speaking right in Don Draper's time, and he's pointing out that this is the eloquence of today. This is what rhetoric is used for, in fact, to inflame the passions and enslave the passions to commercial products.
Yeah.
And I think that largely accounts for someone like Trump's rise, insofar as that here's a guy who is a master marketer, right? And I think that he was able to capture this when we make a transition from rhetoric to consumer aspects. Because if he is good at one thing, it's good at marketing a product.
He has the best words.
He has the best words, right? So.
Yeah, well, first, all the best words. What are Trump's words? Well, the best words aren't very long. We know this. The best words are fourth grade level.
Right.
But yet they're
Remarkably feminine too, apparently.
yeah, but they're very
They have small
effective
hands.
because they do actually speak to people in a way that other politicians weren't
Right.
speaking to people.
Right.
So that's a number one.
Right.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that it seems the ad agencies are trying to harness eloquence because people are still drawn to that. They're still drawn to beauty. They're still drawn to the power of a well-spoken word. And so it seems, in a way, you've got to reach people where they're at, right?
So the most inspiring short films in the last 20 years are like Coke commercials,
Right.
right? But
Yes.
it's inspiration in service of
Yes.
Consumer.
By the world of
buying
Coke.
a Coke.
Yeah,
This
therefore,
is well, Santa Claus, right? Santa Claus arises as we know him because of Coke commercials.
Right.
So there you have that inspiration, almost a quasi civic religious significance, right? There's civic religious significance to Coca-Cola because of what it's done for Christmas. This section is called Plain Talk.
Exactly.
So it's a kind of eloquence that speaks directly to people at a fourth grade level, but doesn't involve complication at all.
So what's behind that desire for plain talk then? Isn't it a desire to get sort of beyond a type of overblown rhetoric that's been overused and therefore someone's seen behind
right.
it?
It seems like one of the
What's going
appeals
on
to that
there?
is sincerity, which they're
Right.
not seeing in the people that are pretending to be rhetorical and just using big words to sound smart. It goes back to sort of the sophists just appearing. And the people that use the sort of one-syllable words appear to be sincere. And maybe that's part of Trump's appeal as well.
We should probably say the big syllable word people, the people who use long words, aren't exactly eloquent in a Ciceronian sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? They're not talking about good and evil and justice in highfalutin ways. A lot of their language is very technocratic. And
It's not aesthetically pleasing in any way either. Right?
Well, it's-
so
yeah.
there's
Their
nothing to
mess-
draw you into
Yeah,
it.
their message is, look how smart I am. It doesn't
Right.
have any outside good, any objective good that they're talking about.
Yeah, it's these minor details of policy. I'm going to lower your taxes better, or I have a different plan for healthcare. But there's not an appeal in a eloquent way for justice and the common good. The more we talk about that, the more vague we become, and the words we use are things like hope and change,
Yeah, exactly.
which is also a fourth grade level and
Exactly.
easily understandable by everybody.
Right.
So what's the takeaway for Catholics?
Well, the takeaway for Catholics is that we would need to do two things. We would need to be steeped in the light of the intellectual tradition so that we know what rhetoric should be. And then we would need to look at the contemporary scene and be able to analyze it well. And in fact, his next section, he criticizes proponents of Great Books education for precisely this. He says they're right to go back to the great ideas, but the only way to really reinstitute those ideas is to analyze culture as we see it today, which is all messed up. And if you don't teach students to look at what's going on today and to analyze it well, you won't bring about the changes that the proponents of Great Books education want to bring about.